listening to the Created to Create show.
This is the Created to Create show. Welcome back, guys. It's a special day today because I have my buddy Nate Norell in the studio. It's been a long time coming, I feel like getting you on the podcast. We've talked about it a few different times, but I'm really excited for today because we are chatting about something that I think both of us have some experience in because we like to push the boundaries on things. But I wanted to have you on specifically because you've done some incredible things in your career. And ever since I met you, you've been someone that's just very intentional and bold. Obviously, like, you're very animated when you talk and you're very like eye contact. That was the first thing when I first met you. Like, my eyes stray. I'm like ADHD, full blown, just looking around. You'd always like tap me. Like I'd like go, you tap me to like bring me back to the conversation. And so I don't know, I'm excited today because I want to get into like two types of boldness, like relational boldness and then also just stepping out in faith. And we've talked about this a lot. And so I'm excited to like share your perspective on the show finally, because I think it's pretty valuable.
Thanks, man. I'm stoked. I'm stoked to be here.
Of course, dude. Okay. So let's talk about relational boldness first, because like I said, you're somebody who is very intentional with people. Yeah. And that means that you have to be the one that kind of steps out first in a relationship. Because a relationship is two people, right? It takes two sides to tango, whatever you want to say. And I've noticed you're usually the first person to reach out / in conversation, like ask how someone's doing, stuff like that. So for you, like, do you feel like you are that bold person? Does it come naturally?
To like engage in conversation with people? Yeah. The one thing I know about myself is I love people. I love talking to people. I love caring about people. I love making an impact on people. I think one thing that pushes me forward is that when I die, I want to just have as much impact as I can. It's why I do anything that I do, whether it's film or social media, communities that I build, anything. It's like, how can I have an impact? Because for me, there's no greater joy that I get when someone's like, hey, you made a difference in my life, or this motivated me to do this with my life, or I quit my job to pursue my passions because of you, or something like that. You just go, oh my gosh, like, that's crazy that at a certain point when I said something really small but made a big impact on that person because it hit them at the right time. So it's like, it's just so cool to be a part of people's stories. Right. So where does that come from?
Was that something that you just innately had your whole life?
I think you can learn it. I just don't know where I got it from. I think my parents, I grew up in the Dominican Republic. Yeah. And I don't think you can survive in the Dominican Republic or Latino culture if you're introvert. Like, they're just so, you can be an introvert, but you definitely learn. You get pulled out. Learn to be an extrovert. Oh my God, we're so loud. We love loud music. Yeah. We love to have a good time. You go to any just like gathering of people and it's just like someone's playing like the piano and the drums or like doing a little music session while people are just like chatting like, oh, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estamos? Like, you're just talking Spanish, you're chatting. It's just like up through the ceiling with the noise, and it doesn't bother anybody. We just like, we love to have a good time. The way you greet people is like with a cheek and cheek, like side kiss. Right. Like,
you're already in there.
We're hugging, it's physical, it's verbal, like everything. So it's not a tame and introverted culture. It is, hey, how you doing? It's all very relational, very people when it comes to the music, the food, and just what people love to do is to gather and get together. So growing up in that culture, growing up with amazing parents, and just being an extrovert, I think happens. But for those who don't have it, I think it's just a skill set to learn. You could call that courage or facing any fears or just being relational, but we're all human and we all are the same. And I don't think there's anything to be afraid of. So I love meeting new people. So I think it just comes naturally.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, in that culture, let's like hone in on that really quick. In that culture, do you think that increases or decreases the ability to be like deep and vulnerable with somebody?
Oh, no, not at all.
Increase.
Oh, yeah, dude. I think what I've learned from Dominicans is we kind of wear our hearts on our sleeves, and more than anything, we're just very open. I'm sure there's people that aren't. Like, I'm not trying to like, blank statement, but a quick story. I remember going to college out here in California. I moved out here to go to college, study film. And I think within the first semester, I had friends, but you're still getting to know people and it's a slow process. And I remember I like broke down my car like 2 hours away. And I literally had in my head, I was like, there's no one at this season of life that I can call that I could disturb for a 4 or 5 hour round trip of their life. Like, there's no one I feel close enough to bother them to help me because I don't have that close enough of a friend, or at least maybe I didn't feel comfortable with it, but it just wasn't there. And then I flew back home to Minnesota because my parents had moved at that time. And I got on the flight, and guess who I sit next to? A Dominican person.
No way.
And by the end of the flight, I have heard this man's deepest, darkest secrets, desires, flaws, wanting to be better. I was like, I want to make a movie out of this guy because he just told me he was a boxer. And I was like, it was the craziest story I had heard. But I was like, that is so Dominican of us, where it's like, we're brothers, we're family. Like, just we're Dominican, we're all in this boat together. We're the human experience, and there's no reason to hide. Again, sure, each and other people can have it, but I feel like when it comes to maybe Americans, again, not trying to generalize either, like, you take time to get to know someone. You're not instantly telling them everything.
People are very reserved in America.
Yeah, reserved, and it takes time, and which again has its pros and cons anyway. So I think that's a good thing too. But just the Dominican culture is just open, man. It's love, it's family, we're all in this together. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because I come from not the complete opposite. I grew up with a lot of, we'll call it white spice in my family.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily any of that Latin spice, but there's heated arguments here and there.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's love and like care for each other.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely I'm the middle kid of a lot of kids. And so like that also put me in a box a little bit, and I shrunk. And so my whole life's been like, how do I get out of that? Like the most, cause I know when I do get out of it, like conversations with you, like hanging out with you, for example, like it brings me out. Right?
Yeah, good.
Like,
but thanks, man.
Oh yeah, of course, dude. Like, it's why I put myself around people like you.
True.
Is because I know the end goal is to get out of myself, because I know, like we were talking beforehand, when you're just like in your thoughts, you have like brain fog, you can't think straight, like you just get lost in the sauce. And so for me, I know I want to be outside of that, but it's hard to like do by yourself. You need the other people. It's a beautiful thing. And I think there's definitely pros and cons to both. But when we're talking about boldness, boldness is being the first one to be vulnerable in a conversation or in a relationship, like being the one that is like laying down your pride so that you can like uplift the whole body, like the whole relationship, rather than just thinking about yourself. So in a way, like boldness is selflessness almost. Would you agree or no?
It can be, for sure. I think there's boldness that might not be selfish. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think selfish is as bad as we think. I think self-full, I can go into a whole different category here, but I think when you're being bold, it can be selfless, but also can be selfish in a good way, where it's like for you.
Yeah.
I don't think selfish, again, that's why I say it's a whole nother conversation. I don't think selfish is always bad.
Yeah. No, I agree.
We as a society, we learn not to be selfish, but there are times where it's like you need to do something for yourself.
You selfishly more so just think of yourself less.
You selfishly say no to a hangout so you can have self-care.
Right.
If you're in a season where it's like, I need to spend some time with myself, or, there's probably a different word out there than selfish, but I don't know what that word is, where maybe it's just self-care.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll roll with it.
What?
I said, we'll roll
with it. Yeah. We'll just create something new here. Self-care. But yeah, I think bold times can be for other people, but also can be for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Interesting thought just popped in my mind. I want to get your take on it, because like we're talking about the whole like culture difference. But what do you think like the difference between good boldness and just being like a loud person is?
When you're saying bold, are you trying to say courage, or are you kind of going with
We're talking about like relational boldness and being like the first one to say hi, first one to
relational boldness.
Relational boldness. So in relational boldness, because we'll get to like kind of like,
well, yeah, I would say bold has a purpose. When you're being bold, you already are afraid of something. You know what that something is, and therefore you want to tackle that, right? So there's intention. So if I'm being bold on having a conversation with someone, it's because I want to befriend them, or I'm trying to make them feel welcomed or get out of my comfort zone. There is a purpose with it. Being loud just sounds like you're being loud to be loud. That sounds obnoxious. And I think everyone knows the difference when they see it, and even people that do it, they know when they're doing it. And whether they're being aware of changing that or not is on them. But I think relational boldness has intention and purpose. I think being loud is just could be selfish, where it's like, I just want to talk. I just want to talk about myself. I just want to be loud. I want to maybe have insecurities where like, I want people to think I'm funny, so I'm just being extra. That would be my guess on that. Yeah.
I'd agree. I think it's I mean, it's definitely something that is not necessarily something that we should judge people on, but more so just like an observation
100%.
of, even as like, if you're listening and you're like, okay, I think I need to be more bold with my life. Like I'm a quiet person. I want to be someone that is more bold in the way that I relate to people. Then it's like good to always just have that in the back of your mind too. It's like, I like that you said intentionality, because like you can 100%. Ask yourself that question, like, what's my intentionality with this goal? Like, am I trying to be loud just so somebody can like pay attention to me, or am I trying to actually be intentional with people?
I would also say if you struggle with like getting out of your comfort zone, don't even worry about any of this. Just get out there, right? Because I know introverted people or people that struggle to get out of their comfort zone or be bold in whatever category, part of that process is the overthinking. Oh, I don't want to do something wrong, or I don't want to be perceived this way. I don't want to, like, just do it, right? You're not going to, trust me, knowing what kind of person you are, you're not going to be loud to be loud. I think we all know what we talk about when we're saying loud, people that have whatever. But again, that's all perspective, and it really just depends on the person. But I think being bold doesn't have to be loud. You can still be yourself and just do things that are a little bit outside your comfort zone, where it's like, I'm going to go say hi to a person today. I'm going to wave at someone. I'm going to say, have a good day. I'm going to compliment. I've even done it, dude. I'm such a outgoing person, but sometimes like, I haven't really like engaged with society or people. I'm like, I'm just going to like pop out 5 compliments to 5 different people. So I'll just be like, oh, hey, I love your like earrings, or hey, I love that. I love those shoes. Oh, where'd you get them? Just starts a conversation. Oh, what are you buying from Trader Joe's? Just whatever it is, just engage in those conversations, So anyone listening, I would just say, don't worry about being loud. Just worry about getting out of your comfort zone, because that's where you need to be, and that's where you'll grow. And honestly, your life will be better for it. So
most definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. It's cool. Like I remember, when I lived up in LA, I like kind of lived near Venice Beach. And I would like take walks, and I started like doing these little like personal social experiments where I would say hi to every single person I passed. And then I would like count like how many, hellos back I got, or good mornings, or whatever it is. And you'd be surprised at how many people like genuinely just want to be noticed and acknowledged.
100%.
And, like you said, like a compliment, but even just a hello, it's like, oh, wow.
Well, dude, I mean, we humans are social animals. I mean, I want to call ourselves animals, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're social. We were created to be social. So when the human existence starts to veer off from that, whether it's working from home or having your own schedule or whatever, you start, less engaging. Public transport, everyone's on their phone, which I don't judge. I'm on it too, but it's just like, especially in New York, if you're in New York subway, there's so much crazy. You're like, you want to be looking at your phone. Too much crazy stuff happening. But it is, our whole society has turned more digital and more reserved and more at home. And so we're social creatures, and we definitely need to be socializing. So if someone has an experience for a while and you're the one saying hello and giving them a smile, you have no idea how far that could go.
Right.
You have no idea what they're going through. So dude.
So
again, just want to encourage anyone watching this, like, if you ever want to make an impact on someone, it doesn't have to be as crazy as you're thinking. Everyone's like, oh, I want to make an impact, so I want to cure cancer. I want to like start a nonprofit organization. I can't do that now. It's like, you can do everything now. You can start today by saying hi to someone, by smiling at the cashier and asking how their day was. Like, there's so many million of other ways of making an impact. Calling that friend, texting that person, telling your parents you love them, having a self-care day for yourself. Like, there's so many ways to make an impact.
Yeah, I think like one of the biggest things that I try to encourage people listening to this show is like, the idea that you're created to create doesn't necessarily mean that, you have to go figure out this skill or this like artistry that you have to cultivate, and that's how you're going to impact the world. The idea of created to create is like, we were created by God to create relationships and like be the bold person in the room, say hello first, like all that stuff. And that's what like truly makes a difference on people. So there's like a reason why we started talking about this first, like the relational aspect of it, because what, I really want to talk about is like the big boldness, right? Like stepping out in faith, like taking risks, because you've done that like quite a bit. And I really want to like chat about that, but I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this first. Cause like you were saying, it's like, you shouldn't even worry about trying to impact the world or take a big risk, like before you just treat the people in your life, in your lane, with respect and boldness and love. But let's get to it. All right. taking a risk. That's like the other side of the coin I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
So it can seem like the bigger side of the coin. You've taken a few risks, won't like rattle them off, but one of the bigger ones recently was the Doritos project that you did with our buddy Dylan.
Yeah.
You guys crushed it. You absolutely like shattered the competition, and you won the Doritos competition, right? It's like Super Bowl, $1 million, going to the Super Bowl, all the things, right? It's like happened all at once, and it was cool to see you guys go through that. But it was also really cool to quietly hear about like your ideas when they were first beginning, and like hear the confidence in your voice, but also hear like the shakiness. You're like, I don't know, like who knows what's going to happen, but we're going to step out and do it anyway.
Yeah.
And so we can use that as like
for sure
an example right off the bat. But when you think of taking a risk, boldness in that regard, like how have you cultivated that skill of taking a leap rather than whenever you face a challenge like that, just kind of like fading back into the darkness of the room or whatever? That was a terrible way of saying it.
No, I get it, man. You decide if you want to cut this out, but I have the impending doom that I'm going to die one day and we only get to live once, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's at least for me,
YOLO to the max.
YOLO to the max, because you only got one shot at this, right?
Yeah.
And I think I want to live life to the fullest, and I obviously give myself grace on every season that I'm in, but I think there's no reason why not to risk it. And obviously I'm talking about like, how's my dad put it? My dad would always say, take calculated risks.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, don't be an idiot. Don't be like, I have this much debt, I have nothing, and I'm just going to like, it's going to happen tomorrow. It's like, okay, that's just like, or I'm trying to give it like an uncalculated risk. Oh, a small example is like, I'm going to go climb the tallest mountain or rock climb the tallest mountain with no experience. Like that, that's kind of like stupid risky, and you could die. Like, let's not go that far, but it's like, I'm going to like try to do a job application in a career that I'm a little bit not fully experienced, but I'm going to put my best foot forward. Go for it. That's
right.
What's the worst that could happen? I know, like there's nothing, impending doom on there. It's just like getting out of your comfort zone. So, I think what allows me, I'm trying to understand the question again. Your question was like, how have I learned to be bold?
Right.
I think everyone knows this. When you stay in the same place, like that is, it's a comforting feeling, but you realize over time it becomes uncomfortable. You're like, I'm not growing, I'm not changing, I'm not where I want to be or who I feel like I was meant to be or I could be. And so,
kind of eats you from the inside out.
Yeah, it eats you from the inside. So my boldness has come from learning that it's not as scary as you think. People are amazing. Going back to the relationships part, like people are amazing. That just saying that hi and that hello, you realize like what is there to fear? Like we're all in this together. I definitely struggled at some point in college where like I cared about what other people thought about me. I was like, oh man, like what I'm wearing isn't really cool, or like I didn't have a lot of money back then, and I'm not wearing like the coolest fits or whatnot. I was like, oh, what are they thinking of me? And when I walked through the cafeteria, I just realized everyone's in their pods just talking, and no one cares.
No one cares.
And I think that's what that is both a depressing thought, but also if you think about the other side of the coin, it's really encouraging. Right. It depends on how you view it. If you're like, oh, no one cares, that sucks. So like, I'm not loved or not care. It's like, that's not completely true. But if like, no one thinks more about yourself than you. So you're like, oh, what I'm wearing today, trust me, there's like barely anybody. Sure, there might be one, but do you really want that person in your life? Do you really care about what that one person thinks? What's going on in their life to think negatively about a stranger like you? Like, oof, so it's like, it really doesn't matter. No one cares, which gave me the comfort to be like, oh, if no one cares, like I can just be fully myself or fully do risky things that I could consider are embarrassing, but really aren't. I mean, literally right now, Ben, I am hot gluing Legos to my freaking room.
So wild, dude.
If I wanted to get in my head, I could be like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, I'm not a child. I'm doing Legos, whatever. You could go that side. You could go super like, oh, this is embarrassing. Oh, this is what are my friends going to think? Like, I did a Super Bowl ad. Now I'm doing this. Like, what? But if you take us on the other side, I'm like, dude, I freaking love Legos. That is who I am. I get to live a childhood dream and turn my Lego room into I see the vision.
Yeah,
like
the finished
other
product.
People that love Legos are going to think this is sick. They're actually, they're actually going to be jealous of me because this is super sick. If you actually see the end goal, like the hardest part about having a vision is that not everyone sees the end product, and maybe sometimes not even you, but you have that little glimpse and you got to be like, no, this is going to be awesome. And everyone that I've seen do crazy, amazing things in life always had an idea that not everyone knew what the end goal was, but they had that faith and that boldness, like, no, I see this vision and no matter what, I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And even at the end, if some people go, we've always had those friends that like hate on you if you did social media or trying something creative, something new. Like you have the high school haters. Luckily, I didn't. I love all my high school friends. I just hear other people talk about their high school friends. I'm like, man, I was blessed with amazing people around my life. But I know people have those stories where you have those haters. Again, do you really want that person in your life? What are they doing with their life? Not to judge them, but like really, like, are they just playing it safe and whatever? And do you get to live the life you want? Again, back to you only live once. You're going to die. Don't panic about that, but be encouraged. Where it's like, why am I tripping on these minuscule things, these small things that really don't matter? That's all up in my head. It's really all up here. Yep. So when you can get out of that, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, no one cares about what you're wearing or cares about how you said it. I literally will be with someone on a speaking gig and I'll walk away. I'm like, dude, you did so good. And they'll be like, oh, well, I said it this. I'm like, didn't even catch that. Didn't even catch that. We had an amazing experience. You killed it. But all you're walking away from, instead of being like, that was awesome, I'm so happy I got to do this. So many people were impacted. They're hearing all the positive, but then they go away and like, man, when I said that one thing and didn't go as I practiced,
the
guess
one
what?
negative just
no one
eats
was
you
there
away.
while you were practicing the speech. No one knows what the original was. So whatever came out made an impact. It's not that deep. So
no, like there's positives to being your own critic.
Yes,
right.
Of course,
like you
to make
can
it better and whatnot.
Yeah, it's like you see yourself
for sure
in like way better than anybody else. Like yourself way better than anybody else, but at the same time, like allowing your inner voice to just completely beat you down. It's just worthless.
Don't let that happen. Do it as like, I could have done this better. Cool. It's that simple. Oh, I could have. All right, cool. Let it go.
And then just
live and
move
learn.
forward.
Don't be like stressing because then you're missing out on all the good stuff. I think the opposite of boldness, what would you say, would be fear?
Yeah. 100%.
And so I say, when you live in fear, anyone that's listening and watching this, when you live in fear, has anything good come from it? No. Don't you over time go, man, I wish I was less fearful. But then you go, but I don't want to take the action on being bold. And that's where you're in that in between. So just take that risk of being like, hey, I'm going to go say hi to someone, or I'm going to go start a project. And I don't fully know, but I'll learn as I go. Again, some of the people that have succeeded the most, aka me, aka my friends, aka anyone famous, their backstory has always been, I was just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. Or I'm not fully qualified, but I'm going to fake it till I make it. Not lie till I make it, but fake it as like, I'm going to become that person, and I can do it by putting the work in.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the difference too. Like your goal is to do the work, not to just get by and get the reward without doing the work.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's so much there, but I think the main thing that I was kind of like zoning in on is your ability to live in an extreme thought for just long enough to get you to take the action to then live in the nuance of real life.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the ways that I can get stuck, right, is like living in that extreme thought, whether it's anxiety or depressive thought of like, oh, I have this mad regret, or I have this like super big anxious thought about what I'm going to do, and you live in it. Yeah. And so then you don't take action, and then that becomes your reality rather than knowing that things are nuanced and you can actually live within that nuance and not be controlled by the extreme of like, oh, somebody thought this was dog water. Like somebody thought this, but I remember too, like back in 2023, I believe, Fuel the Fire Film Festival.
Yeah.
You're sitting right behind me, and I was showing my first film. And of course, like at that point, I'm like so much more of a critic of myself than I am now. Yeah. But I'm like, it ends and you're just behind me. You're like, that was incredible. That was so good. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like thinking about like how the sound wasn't right and this and stuff. And that was the first thing I said to you. And you were just like, dude, what do you mean? I didn't even notice it.
Exactly.
And that was one of those moments for me that it clicked. And I was just like, man, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it matters to me that I can make it better in the future. Yes. But in this moment, Nate didn't notice that. Yeah. He just saw his friend make a film that was genuinely good, a great story, and do it well. Yeah. And like that's what he saw. And it switched my brain in that moment. So then I got to see that film in like a new light, something that I had worked on for so long.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh yeah, it was good. Like I get to share this with people now and not be conscious about the sound design being effed up or whatever. Yeah.
And a good reminder for people is it's always going to be a process. Any journey you take in life.
Yeah.
Any journey. So when it comes creatively,
I'm still on that, bro.
Like, yeah, exactly. Where it's like, you might be critical of yourself, obviously have it with grace, but don't let that criticism bring you down. Like, oh, that was not good. Therefore, because if you keep telling yourself like that wasn't good or keep criticizing you to a point, why on earth would you go out there and risk again? Why on earth would you keep pursuing that thing? Like if you really walked away from that movie theater, let's say no one encouraged you, right? Right. And then you had one hater, right?
Yeah.
And that like just stuck with you. Or let's say everyone encouraged you, but you had one person say, hey, you could, and that just like totally bogged you down. Like you're not moving on to make the next thing, which then I would really go, do you really love this? Because like the reality is you're going to learn through every project you do and you're going to get better. Not everyone wakes up and they're the Steven Spielberg, and they have to go and make and create and learn and grow and fail. I don't think anything's a failure. I think everything's a growing.
Really?
Like there isn't any failures unless you die. If you die, well, even death could be a success. So honestly, I just don't believe in failure. I mean, I guess there is a version of failure if you like hurt someone or do the wrong thing. Sure, that could be failure. But I'm like, when we think about challenge ourselves creatively in a career, like I'm gonna go make a short film, like let's say failure. Oh, it didn't make the money back, or no one liked it, or whatever. That's not a failure. You got to do with your time, go make something creative to grow and learn for the next one.
Yeah.
How's that a failure? That's a stepping stone forward. Failure is doing nothing. Right. Failure is staying stagnant. Failure is living in fear and not moving in any direction.
Yeah, you're right.
And then when you're old and gray, you'll regret. Like that's failure.
Yeah.
When you do something, you're past failure. You've already done the right thing. And now it's just up from there.
Yeah.
Might not go exactly how you want it to go.
No.
But you have to see the fine lines like, oh, I learned from this. I grew from this. So what I'm saying is something I learned from one of my great friends, Kip, who is an amazing artist, is ever since he was a kid, he would draw. And he was just like, this is the best drawing in the entire freaking world. And he's like, I knew deep down it wasn't. I'm just a kid. And it's like, whatever. But I loved art so much. And I believed in myself. And I just loved the act of doing it, that I had pride in my work. And he's like, if you don't love what you do, you don't have pride in your work, why in heck would I go on to do the next drawing? Because if I draw that, I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Oh my God, look at it's not what I want it to be. And like, those are all negative feelings. Why the heck would you want to go through that again?
And
so that's why we as artists that do that, you see them posting once every 3 months or whatever. They're not doing it every day. But I've learned to be okay with it, where I have followers and a number, and people go, oh, you're this. And I have had the days where I post and only gets like 100 likes, and I'm like, and those have been days. But now I'm like, let's run it. I'm so down for those days. I'm like, that's a part of the process. Oh, it didn't hit today. It'll hit tomorrow, or the next video will hit, or the fifth video. It's a consistent game of getting better. And I think we judge ourselves too much, saying, if I put this out and it doesn't do what I hoped it would do, therefore I failed. Or you have a vision of who you are and what you're going to create, but your skill set is not there yet.
Right.
Therefore, you are more afraid of the judgment or what people will perceive of who you are versus who you are, but also having the grace of, I need to put in the practice to get there.
Right. Okay. So when we talk about boldness, we talk about stepping out in faith.
Yeah.
There's like almost a delusional aspect to it, or can be.
Yeah.
So what would you say the line is between faith and delusion? Like not getting lost in the dream or the passion or whatever, but also like keeping it real.
I would say that's tough, because both faith and delusion look the same from the outside.
Really? Explain that.
Yeah, like if you're an outside person looking at someone, if you're like, oh, I'm going to become the #1 podcast in the world, right? Like from my point of view, it's like, I could say that's either faith or, like, it looks the same. It's both faith and like it's this big, potentially unattainable dream, but not really. Right? We've seen it happen for other people, right? So it's like, okay. So from the outside, they look the same, because from my perspective, they're both, because I'm not you. That's a big dream. That's crazy. I could never do it. So it's just like, you get what I'm saying? The difference between faith and delusion is faith is backed up by the works. Faith is, I believe in this and I'm going to put in the work, the discipline, the hours. I think delusion is when you have this big dream and you think you deserve it, but aren't doing any of the work. I don't like to say delusion because, you know, in social media we go like, you got to be delulu, you know, and I kind of like that because a lot of us aren't like dreamers. And so when you say you got to be delusion, it kind of just really pushes people to challenge themselves, like dream bigger than you could ever imagine. So because we're able to, we as humans, if we can think it, I truly believe anything is possible. I really think that is true. So I kind of like to shift the wording from delusion to be like egotistical delusion. Okay. I think egotistical delusion when it's all about me and I'm going to be the number one pop singer, but I'm all day scrolling on my phone, doing nothing. And you go, Nate, what are you going to be? Oh, I'm going to be this incredible pop singer. It's like, okay, are you taking vocal lessons? Yeah. No. Or are you writing down songs in your free time? Because every time I see you have free time, like after work, you're on your phone. And I know you got dreams to become a pop artist, you know, a pop artist singer, but are you putting in the work? And I'm just like, no. And it's like, okay, so help me understand where is this pop singer going to come from? You know, just someone's going to come with, oh my God, Nate, I've never heard you sing. Here's like, by the way, it's not one of my dreams. I mean, that could be cool. I don't know. But point is, I just think faith and delusion are good things. It challenges the human experience to do something beyond them, to dream bigger, to get out of their comfort zone. But if you're an egotistical, delusional kind of person where you just things will magically happen with no work put in. I mean, I believe in a big God, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I also I believe it, you know, isn't the Bible say faith without works is dead, or?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you need to, like, you can believe in something, but you have to put the work behind it. Like, I believe in a big God and he can make things happen, but I still think God calls us to do things.
Yeah, I mean, he calls us to be a good steward. If we're getting theological, he calls us to be a good steward of what we're given. Yes. The talents, the money, whatever it is, gifts. Yeah. So if you are that person who was initially given a gift of, hey, like I can sing, I could be the biggest pop star, like whatever it is, you have that dream, but then you're scrolling on your phone, then you're not stewarding your gifts right. So
also, therefore, you're just literally crazy. If you're like, this is just going to happen out of thin air. I'm just like, well, not in this reality, sadly.
Well, and why would, I mean, again, being theological, why would God give you that reward?
Yes. If you haven't put the work in the practice, the nurturing of that gift, it's just not going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. When was a time where you felt delusional in your faith?
In my faith?
Yeah,
or in like my life,
and like your boldness, and like a moment where you were stepping out and you felt like, oh,
yeah. There were 3 times. There were 3 times. Well, there were 2 times. Okay. One, when I quit my job, I used to work for Zach King for like 5 years. Yep. Cameraman, producer, and the director. Dream job, man.
Yeah, big role.
Loved it. Dream job, dream boss. It's just nothing wrong. Yeah. And I just kind of just knew deep down inside, like, I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had that kind of thing in me, and social media was really popping out for me. I'm like, I had been so fearful to take that leap to do my own thing because it was, well, what if it fails? What if I don't make any money? Yeah. What if? Yeah, I remember and I just had a moment where I'd been there for so long, and it was no longer fear. It had turned into regret.
Interesting.
Because I had so many great things at work and doing so many cool things, and I was just like, yeah, we're good here. Until that slowly turned into, hey, when you're 80 and you look back, are you going to regret that you didn't take the shot, the risk, the chance on seeing if you could do your own thing? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, that fear no longer was there, and it had turned into regret over time. And I think that's usually what gets most people going is they have fear, and you can say all this kind of encouraging stuff. Sometimes it hits people, but sometimes it's just like, well, no, Nate, you don't get it. And then you just wait. You sit on it long enough that then that fear turns out, oh, frick, I regret. I'm regretting what I'm becoming. I'm regretting what I'm not potentially able to achieve. And I really am passionate about those things. I really do love those things.
Yeah, it kind of kicks you in the rear.
And so I quit my job to do content full time. Scary. Man, I was so scared. And for sure I had failures, I had to learn a lot about disciplining myself to be consistent and whatnot. I mean, I went all the way down to negative $5,000 in my bank account type thing, and then it just whipped me in shape. And I just started reaching out to people. Hey, if you have an extra gig, I can cam up, whatever. And I just take anything because I was hungry to make it happen. Because I had to learn so much about myself, yet wasted money in the fact of trying and not succeeding and then taking too slow instead of putting deadlines. So a lot of lessons learned.
Yeah.
But that is one time that I took a major risk and oh my God, look at me now. I mean, not to say like I'm at the end like of the chapter, but I'm like, holy cow.
But even
got to make a Super Bowl commercial.
How long ago was that, by the way, too?
Which one? The quitting?
Yeah. 3?
2.5, 3 years ago? 3 years ago? Yeah. And in that 2.5 years,
it's not that much
I've made
time.
a Super Bowl commercial. I'm making money as an entrepreneur and a creative director and a content creator, and life is always shifting. I'm like trying to get more into movie directing / acting. And so it's just all kind of like part of this fun thing. And even when I don't know fully what's going on, I rest in the fact that like, hey, this is what I get to do with my time and life. And that's super exciting, even though it's kind of daunting not knowing fully the vision, but it's like, hey, it could be a lot worse, you know?
So much worse.
Speaking about time.
And it just like opened so many like cool doors for you in your relationships too. Like even like I remember when you bought your mom the Mustang. Yeah, bro, that was just like such a blessing that like God gave you.
Yeah, dude.
The opportunities to then give you the ability to bless someone that you love so much. You know.
Yeah, man, that was like top 3 moments of my life. Like I love my parents so much, and so being able to do that was just so sweet. I mean, that's just something I'll cherish forever.
What's the second one?
But speaking of other times that I've taken risks. Was the Dorito.
Okay.
Doritos crashed the Super Bowl.
What happened with that in the beginning? Like, what was the beginning idea like? Like you and Dylan co-directing?
I'll tell you the whole story. Basically,
break it down.
My best friend Dylan Bradshaw. My best friend Dylan Bradshaw calls me up and is like, "Dude, Doritos crashed the Super Bowl is back." It's basically a contest where they're like, "You think you can make a better commercial? Submit your version." So you make an ad for Doritos. It's about like how many applicants? There was 4,000 this time.
Yeah.
And then the judges pick a top 3. And then from the top 3 it becomes a public voting system to whoever wins. And the winner gets $1 million and gets their ad played live at the Super Bowl. And it's just like, oh, there's so much risk, so much uncertainty.
Yeah.
But Dylan and I were both like, bro, I think we got this. You and I go together, give it our 100% each. We'll win. We can do this.
Yeah.
And so
a little delusional,
yeah, for sure. But again, where I find comfort in delusion is putting in the work. It's like that. Like, I'm like, I need to put in the work to feel confident that it's going to work. Other people function off of, I need to believe it's going to happen to put in the work. Everyone functions differently, but I'm more of a negative Nancy in that like, oh, you're going to lose. So therefore I need to work harder. For some people need to believe that they're going to win so that they can like be encouraged to
do the work.
You know? So it depends on
your
who you are.
Your belief comes from the action.
Yes, my belief comes from the action. So we put the work in. We did about like 50 different like ideas, simple stuff like scientist in a lab, woodworker and whatever. We kind of create these little scenarios, just taglines. And then out of the 50, we picked like our top 3 ideas. And then we actually like mock shot each one of them.
Okay.
Did our own little version, showed them to our friends like, hey, which ideas do you like best? And they're like, oh, this one or that one. And then we landed on like this alien theme. And then we brainstormed with a couple friends. Jace Hardwick helped us on the idea, shifted it in a way that just brought his VFX skill into the equation that we didn't think we had time for. He's like, oh, I can do it. Which he totally lied. He didn't know how to do it. He figured it out.
That man figures out anything. I
know. He's crazy. But we basically put in the work. Dylan and I met up every day for about 10 hours on pre-production. And then when it became to shooting, it was a 12-hour all-night shoot, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., which was insane. And then editing, same thing. I mean, we kind of did the picture lock, but then the editing team with VFX handled it. But then when we got to top 3, then it was a 2-week process of voting. And that was 10 times more difficult and more painful than the whole process of making the commercial. Because we just got to do 10 hours and go home and go to sleep and, get rest. Dylan and I were...
Well, that's like normal to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dylan and I were barely sleeping for 2 weeks. Because you're telling me at this point, I have a 1 in 3 chance of winning $1 million and having my ad, my work, play at the Super Bowl. Yeah. Dylan and I were like, we're going to do everything possible. So we were texting people, group chats, posting 3 videos a day, reminding people, calling people, doing interviews for TV, news channels. And it was just like, it was literally insanity. And we barely got any sleep, about 2 to 3 hours every night. Nonstop. Yeah. Definitely brains cooked after that.
Oh, yeah. Your eyes were bloodshot.
No, I still feel the effects of that whole contest.
I'm sure.
And we just gave it our all because I said to myself, you know, you can't, when it comes to a public vote, you can't determine that. You know, you can only try your hardest, but there's a chance you can give it your all and lose. But I was like, if I lose, I want to look back and know that I gave my 110%.
Yeah.
And not look back with regret and go, I could have done a little more.
Right.
That will always haunt me. When you're that close, a 1/3 chance of winning, that will haunt me for the rest of my life. That will really tell me you don't have what it takes. You're not putting in the work, or be the encouragement to be like, you need to go harder because you could have had this. So I can get you sometimes can give your all and not have the end goal you were hoping. That happens. But you can rest in the fact that I'm human. There's only so much I can do, but I gave my 100%. So that was where I was kind of finding my comfort. And I was like, I'm not going to look back and regret. I'm not in this stage. We're going to get our ad to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And you did.
And we did, bro. We did. We Dylan, what a trooper. We both, I love that, man. Dorito. We literally gave every bit of ourselves. It was such a testament to who we are. And we learned so much about each other and about ourselves. And God, what an experience. But we put it all on the line. And thank God it worked. And we won. And man, like, if I can just take a moment for anyone that like knew about the contest and voted, like, thank you so much. I get emotional talking about it. Like, I was just thinking about it in the car and I started crying.
It's a process.
Like, you guys have changed my life forever, and I am forever indebted with gratitude to everyone that was a part of it. But so thank you. So thank you so much. It literally has allowed me to be even more creative and take even more risks, and make me feel comfortable doing that. And this is just the beginning, a lot more to come, but it's just one of those things. It's like, we never would have taken that risk, if we would have been like, oh, dude, there's so many competition, and then it's voting. So what if someone's like a celebrity? You're just like, I don't want to do it. It's like,
you did go up against celebrities.
Imagine if we failed, right? Yeah. We had an amazing time doing it. I mean, sure, we killed ourselves doing it, but we learned something. We grew. We're better filmmakers for it. We have an amazing like spec ad piece that we could show around. Like, and luckily we did win. And it still brought us incredible connections, incredible outreach to people, incredible networking with production companies. We've been doing commercials since then. And it's just like, dude, like, just think about it this way. If you don't take the risk, you'll never know what it could have been. You'll never know what's on the other side.
Yep.
And let me just encourage you to say there's always another side. It might not look the way you want it, but there's always something better. It's I learned, I grew, I succeeded, I won. It's always better than nothing's happening, and I'm saying exactly where I'm at. Yeah. So those are 2 times that I took risk, and by God's grace, it has been incredible. I know people that have taken, I took the risk to start a company and it failed. I did another company and failed. And I don't wish that on my worst enemy, you know what I'm saying? No. I luckily have not had that. I feel like, I don't want to preach this upon myself, but I feel like in the next 10 years, I'm going to have 1 or 2 of those stories where it actually completely backfires. You will quickly learn that risks are not as scary as you think. And they're actually so cool, so dope, so fun. And you're going to have so much more fulfillment in yourself. And you're going to have so much more peace, love, and joy because of it. So take that risk.
Take the risk.
Just do it. Nike.
Just do it.
And we just want to break this up with our sponsor of the day. Nike.
Someday. Delusional, maybe?
No. Put in the work.
Nike?
Email them every day. Day 532 of emailing Nike until they work with me. Yeah.
Let's do it, bro.
Dude, I love it.
I totally agree. Last note, I think we definitely get caught up in that lie that, sitting still is sitting still, but in reality, sitting still, being comfortable is actually moving backwards. You're not just plateauing.
You're slowly just shifting down the hill. You're on a computer chair on a hill and you're slowly rolling back. You gotta scoot your way forward. That's a great analogy. Can we get someone to illustrate that? Just someone.
So stupid.
I know someone got it. I know someone's clocking it.
Just send it, DM it to me. But yeah, genuinely, we definitely get caught in that. So I appreciate you taking the time to just lay it out there. Give us the groundworks to a successful life. No, just give us the groundworks to a bold life. Yeah, and most importantly, like you said, you're still learning. Yeah. I mean, I see that as your friend, like, you taking action is like that example. You're setting that example. Not by just sitting here and talking into a podcast mic. Like this is what I do. So that's why you're here. But like, you're not the guy, the guru. You're just talking about your lived experiences.
I'm just a guy.
So you're just a guy.
Just a dude.
No, you're Nate Norell, brother.
Well, thanks for having me on,
bro.
man.
I love you so much. I appreciate you a ton.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll get to do this sometime soon, some other time. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I'll be talking to you once my movie comes out.
Oh,
and I'll be like,
on.
So back in the day, I was gluing Legos to my wall, and then
it led to a feature film.
Yes,
I believe it.
Delusional.
Maybe a Lego movie.
Lego sponsor me. No,
hey, there we go.
Well, dude, dab me up, bro. Thanks for having me.
Oh, dude, thank you so much. Oh, that's crispy.
Yeah, we need like a VFX explosion on that dab.
I love it. Thanks, guys. Next Monday, tap back in, tune in, as they say. And as always, just remember you're created to create. So do something about it. Take action, right?
Take action.
Let's go.
Take the action.
Later, guys.
You're listening to the Created to Create show.